The Zephyrian war fleet had swept through the Outer Rim territories like a plague, their crystalline ships cutting through space with predatory grace. 17 systems had fallen in as many days. The remnants of various alien civilizations, the peaceful Altarians, the diplomatic Centauri Union, the technologically advanced Nexari, had all bent the knee or been reduced to cosmic dust. Admiral Kethvar stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Void Render, surveying the latest conquest through the viewport. The mining colonies of Kepler 442b burned in the distance, their industrial complexes now serving the Zephyrian Empire. His mandibles clicked with satisfaction as he reviewed the tactical displays. "Admiral," his communications officer chittered, "we're receiving a transmission from the inner systems. It appears humans are responding to our expansion." Kethvar's 4 eyes narrowed. Humans. The bipedal mammals from the Sol system had been largely ignored during the initial conquest planning. Their technology was primitive compared to the Nexari, their diplomatic corps laughably naive compared to the Centauri, and their military doctrine seemed to consist mainly of throwing metal projectiles at each other. "How many ships?" Kethvar asked, expecting to hear of perhaps a dozen vessels, a token resistance force. "Sir, our long-range sensors detect a single ship approaching the Kepler system. A single ship." Kethvar's mandibles clicked in amusement. The humans were either supremely confident or supremely stupid. Given their species' track record, he assumed the latter. The human vessel dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the system 3 hours later. It was unremarkable. A mid-sized frigate with basic shielding and what appeared to be standard kinetic weapons. Kethvar's tactical officer confirmed it. The UES determination was barely a threat to their smallest escort vessel, let alone the entire fleet. "Open a channel," Kethvar commanded. "Let's see what these mammals want." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a human female in a crisp blue uniform. She had short-cropped dark hair and eyes that seemed far too calm for someone facing a fleet of 200 warships. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the United Earth Ship Determination," she said, her voice steady. "I'm here to negotiate the withdrawal of Zephyrian forces from the Outer Rim territories." The bridge erupted in chittering laughter. Kethvar raised a clawed hand for silence. "Captain Chen," he said, his translator rendering his words in perfect English, "you command a single ship against my fleet. What could you possibly offer that would interest me?" Captain Chen's expression didn't change. "Admiral Kethvar, I presume. We've studied your conquest pattern. Very efficient. Very direct. But you've made one critical error in your calculations." "And what would that be?" "You assume that humans fight like everyone else?" Kethvar's mandibles clicked dismissively. "Your weapons are inferior. Your shields are basic. Your ship is alone. Mathematics is universal, Captain. One does not defeat 200. "You're absolutely right," Chen agreed. "One ship can't defeat 200, but one ship doesn't need to." Before Kethvar could respond, his sensor officer's voice cracked with alarm. "Admiral, we're detecting massive energy signatures throughout the system. Multiple sources. They're everywhere." The tactical display lit up like a festival celebration. Hundreds of contacts appeared simultaneously. Not ships, but something else entirely. They were small, no larger than fighters, but the energy readings were impossible. "What are those?" Kethvar demanded. Captain Chen smiled for the first time. "Those, Admiral, are why humans don't bring guns to every fight. Sometimes we bring something much worse." The contacts began moving, not toward the Zephyrian fleet, but toward the mining stations, the orbital platforms, the infrastructure that the aliens had spent weeks capturing and fortifying. Those are human civilians, Admiral. Volunteers. Each one of them is piloting a ship loaded with our latest breakthrough in exotic matter containment. They're not here to fight your fleet. Kethvar's eyes widened as he began to understand. They're here to deny you everything you came for, Chen continued. Every mining operation, every refinery, every strategic resource in this system. In precisely 37 minutes, those volunteers will detonate their exotic matter charges simultaneously. The resulting cascade reaction will render this entire system uninhabitable for the next 4,000 years. That's insane, Kethvar breathed. Those are your own people. Yes, Chen said simply. And every single one of them volunteered. We put out a call across human space. Who's willing to die to ensure that no alien empire profits from conquered human worlds? We expected maybe a few dozen responses. She gestured to the tactical display showing hundreds of suicide craft. We got 17,000 volunteers in the first hour. We had to turn people away. Kethvar stared at the display in growing horror. The implications were staggering. But the resources, the infrastructure. Worthless to you if they don't exist, Chen interrupted. That's the thing about humans, Admiral. We have this peculiar habit of deciding that if we can't have something, then nobody can. We call it spite. Other species seem to consider it a character flaw. The Zephyrian Admiral's tactical mind raced through the options. He could destroy the human suicide craft, but they were spread throughout the system. His fleet couldn't possibly eliminate them all before they reached their targets. He could retreat, but that would mean abandoning the system entirely and showing weakness to the other conquered species. You're bluffing, he said, though his voice lacked conviction. Am I? Chen asked. Computer, open channel to Strike Group Alpha. A new voice crackled over the comm. This is Lieutenant Commander Martinez aboard the Last Dance. We're locked onto the primary thorium processing station, ready to party on your word, Captain. Another voice joined in. Petty Officer Kim here, approaching the orbital shipyards. Let's light this candle. More voices followed. Dozens of them, all calm, all determined, all ready to die to deny the Zephyrians their prize. Kethvar's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of severe agitation among his species. In all his years of conquest, he had never encountered anything like this. Species fought to defend what they had, yes, but this wholesale destruction of their own assets was beyond his comprehension. What do you want? He asked finally. Full withdrawal from all Outer Rim territories, Chen said immediately. And a guarantee that the Zephyrian Empire will not expand into human space or territories under human protection. And if I refuse? Chen's smile returned, cold and sharp. Then you can explain to your superiors why your glorious conquest resulted in the complete destruction of everything you came here to take. And Admiral, this is just one system. We've had time to prepare similar surprises in every territory you've conquered. The choice is yours. Retreat with your fleet intact, or advance and find nothing but irradiated wasteland. Kethvar looked around his bridge at his officers. Their expressions ranged from confusion to outright fear. They had studied human military, tactics, human technology, human diplomatic protocols, but this mad willingness to destroy everything rather than submit, was something else entirely. You're insane, he said quietly. Probably, Chen agreed, but we're consistently insane. That's what makes us dangerous. 3 hours later, the Zephyrian fleet began its withdrawal from the Outer Rim. Within a week, they had completely abandoned all conquered territories and retreated to their original borders. The story spread throughout the galaxy like wildfire. The species that would rather destroy everything than see it conquered. Diplomats and military strategists studied the Kepler incident for decades afterward, trying to understand the psychological makeup of a species that would choose mutual destruction over submission.